everyone, this is Chris from Stylharmony. Thank you for joining me. Today's video is going to be about Christmas, and we're going to make some Christmas clocks. And for this we're going to use some CDs. I'm sure you all have CDs that you've never used or that you put aside for any kind of reason. Well, this is the time that we're going to use them. So these are old CDs that I kept, and now I am decided to use them. So this would be a very nice decoration for Christmas. So this is the first one we're going to do today, and I'm going to show you a few tricks here on what to do and what not to do from the experiment I have done here. So this is the first one, and this will be the second one. So let me zoom out a little bit so you'll be able to see this one even better. So very easy, and you don't need a lot of stuff actually. Maybe you really have everything also home right now, so I'm just going to show you a few things. So first, in order to make your clock, you will need, of course, a clock mechanism, and you can find on the internet a lot of stuff, and I will putting links in the description box below, because I have found on Amazon very good products and very cheap. You don't have to spend a lot of money to do this, and you can have all size hand clocks like this one. So these would be nice, but for bigger clocks it's going to be too big for these. So whenever you buy hand clocks, make sure that they fit your project. So today I'm going to use these small ones, and I also wanted to point out these two different mechanisms, and maybe you will be able to see they both work well. They both need only one battery, standard A battery. But the very important thing here is to look at this. Well, I'm going to do a little close-up here. So you can see that there's one here that this piece that goes into the center is much longer than the other one. Can you see this? Yes, I think you can. Much longer. So this would be nice for like a wooden clock, something that is quite thick. For a CD or even an old record, you know, the vinyl record, this would be plenty enough, because otherwise you're going to have a big thing going out of your record and it's not going to look nice. So be careful when you buy them that you have the right length here, otherwise they will normally all fit together. It usually comes with this, or very often this is supposed to go here when you mount your clock, and this is supposed to help you then hang it on the wall. So you put this first, then what you can do is put this piece here also, or you can put it in between. I would rather put it in between because it avoids all kinds of noises. Then you will put your clock on, or your piece, and then this little golden piece, I don't know what you call it, you put it there and then you twist it to really hold it on. So we will see this part later on. So depending on if you want to hang it or not, you will need to put this piece on and this piece on. They might be leftovers. Okay, so I'm going to keep these and take all these out. And you have three arms, okay? You've got minutes, hours, and this one, which are the seconds. You don't have to use them, but I think it finishes the clock really well. So then what you will need, of course, like I said, some CDs. And you could do this on bigger clocks. If you have vinyl, old clocks, you know, the black one, you could do this as well. And I found some images on the internet as well, and I will put a link to the images I found here. So I cut them out, and they're supposed to be big. On the website, I will put the link where I found these. I'm sure you can Google some. Then what I did to put them to size to go on my CD is that they're in JPEG. If you want to copy this image, they're going to be in JPEG, and they might be too big. It's going to be as big as this if you want to print them out. So what I have done, if you know how to do that, that'll be simple, or maybe ask someone that could help you, is first I change this file JPEG to a PDF file. And once it's in a PDF file, you can decide how big you want or how small you want to print it out. And I put it down to size to 55% of its original size. And I can't really do this with my computer or my normal printer. So 55%, and it just fits very well inside. It's not too big, it's just the perfect size. It might be a little tiny bit smaller, but I think it's better because depending on the design here, you want probably to have it slightly smaller than bigger, but I think it really fits perfectly, as you can see here. So PDF, and then before printing you can change the size. You will see a little piece where it said you decide of your own size, and it's in percentage, so I put 55% smaller, and there it is. So then what I wanted to do, and it didn't work out for me at all, is that I wanted to just glue this with Mod Podge onto my paper. And this is what it turns out. For example, for this image, normally it looks like this. So I think you can see the difference. It's all blurry, and it even looks purple on this one. So if you want to put Mod Podge, don't. Unless you have a laser printer. If you have an inkjet, it's not going to work with your Mod Podge. It's going to smear just even underneath. So what I have done here is that I just used, I printed out a piece of paper, and then what I used, it's not very fancy, but it really works very well, is that I used 3 pieces of transparent tape. It's just regular packing tape, and I just run it over like this. And take your time while you'll do this so you won't have any air bubble. So for this size, I just needed 3, and I've already pre-cut them because I think it's easier. And then I just put it on the side here. Let me see, I'm out of focus. And there. And try to line them up very well, and if you want to avoid a gap, just overlap slightly each piece, which I didn't do very well here, but I'm not really well placed with the camera and the light. But I'm sure you understand the trick. So you do it well, you overlap it, and then what you can do is with bone folders or the back of your scissors is make sure everything is well done. And once you've done that, you just need to cut it out. And then the easiest way to do it, once you cut it out, and I've cut a piece here, is just take your CD record. Then you just need to clean it a little bit, and if you don't want to smear anything, just put some double-sided tape. And I use my regular ATG gun for this, and it works just fine. If you have any other brand, well, use just what you have. So I don't have to use Mod Podge, it's not going to smear. And if I decided to put some tape here, it's because I think it's nicer when it's a little bit shiny than regular. If you don't want to use the tape, if you think it's just nice the way it is, well, you can obviously skip this step. Okay, I'm making sure I've got double-sided tape everywhere here. And now I am just going to, let me see, I hope I'm not going to put my face too much in here, but I try to center it as well as I can. Okay, I think it's almost good. And now let me see on the back, it's a little, no, it's fine, a little bit of glue here, and you can see a little piece of white. That's because of the color of the CD that is transparent here. Okay, now it's really done, so we can start doing our decorations. For the first part of our decorations, what I used here, and of course you can replace all the things I'm using by what you have, is I'm going to use some of these garlands. And you can use whatever you have, whatever color you have. This one is quite tiny, but I don't really have a lot of choice here where I am, so I'm just going to use thin ones like this. And if I think it's too thin, I can always double it. So what we're going to do here is first use a little bit of this, and I hope I'll have enough. I think so. And I don't even know yet if I want to put some gold around. Yes, I think I am. So I'm going to use some hot glue, hoping that it's going to stay in place, because you know that hot glue doesn't really like sticking on non-porous surfaces. And this is plastic. You know, we put some tape on here, so it's going to look, it has a plastic touch to it. but I think it's going to do the trick. So I'm going to go here all the way around, putting some hot glue. And of course, home, you will probably do a better job at what I'm doing right now. So take your time. And a little bit more here, make sure everything stays in place. And this is going to go fairly quickly. Okay, what I like to do is to do this first before putting my mechanism, because otherwise my surface is not going to be that flat. And I'll come back if I skipped a place. Okay. And we're going to be using quite a lot of hot glue today, so make sure you've got plenty of glue sticks. And I'm going to cut this piece here now. My scissors are not cutting well. Let me see if I can put another pearl here. Oh, that's fine. Okay, so now this piece is ready. Everything is glued in place, at least for now. And what I'm going to do is turn it over. And let me take this away. I've got so many things on my table because I've tried it before to make sure it was going to work. So now what I'm going to do is make sure that my piece is quite nice. And I'm going to put some hot glue here as well on the back. And don't be scared to put enough. And be careful at that point, because here my garland, for example, is really thin. And I'm barely touching here what I need to put down because I don't want to burn myself. So really be careful. And your CD also is going to be hot. Sorry, I was out of focus. I'm back here. I'm going to continue here putting my garland all around and being generous. And I'm using whatever I have here. Oh, I've got my spatula, my silicone spatula. I showed you this before. Very, very useful if you can find these little ones. Because it's silicone, your hot glue is not going to stick on it. And it's better than to just glue your fingers here. I'm going to put a little bit more. I'm being a bit too shy on the glue here. And I'm turning my garland because I can see that there are bits and pieces nicer on one side. And there it is. It's really hot. Okay. Now I can cut it around here. Did I do the whole thing? Yes. Let me see what it looks like. So if you think it's enough, and you don't want to put much, you don't want to put more around it, that's fine. You can stop at this point. Or if you want it to be a bit more fluffy, you can put some more glue here on the back and do a second row just on top on the of the other, and a third one, depending on the width and on the fluffiness of your garland. I'm gonna stop here because I think you understood where I was going. And now for this one, I think we can start putting our mechanism on. So I'm going to use the smaller one like I told you before. And here I need to make a little hole. I'm not going to go all the way through because otherwise I won't be able to stick it down. So I'm just going to make a tiny hole using my X-Acto knife, like a cross. There I am. And then I'm going to cut a little bit here to make some kind of a circle or a square. So it's going to be easier for me then to put my mechanism in without being too ugly on the other side. Okay? So now I can put this in, and there's no wrong or bad way to do it. It's just to avoid having too much paper here, and this is the perfect fit. Okay, so now once this is okay, I am going to directly put this part here and screw it on. I would recommend using some tweezers here, or to really, not tweezers, but a tool to really make it stay tight so your mechanism won't keep on turning all the time. Here it's a bit too loose, so you really need to make it tight. Okay, and this is done. And now the only thing you need to put on are your arms. And you always need to start from the smaller to the biggest. Normally that's the way it's supposed to go. So there, you just heard the click. Now the second one here. Whoops, I think I made a mistake. Apparently on this one it's different. So this one first. Ugh. That one is hard to put on. There, I have it. Okay, then this one. Okay, and then the small one. There you have it. Okay, one thing you need to know, if they're a little too big, because it's some metal that is very flexible, be aware not to fold them or bend them, and you can cut them easily with scissors. And I'm going to show you what I've done with the one I made, because it was too small, and they're exactly the same. I just cut them, maybe you can see this, I cut them here. Also this one, which was a little bit too long, because where the bow comes, it's going to touch. Do you see that? So I'm going to put my bow a little bit differently, and if I need to, I will cut them down a little bit more. So my clock will be able to turn normally, because this is supposed to work. Look at that. Okay, this one is working, and I wanted to put a little bit of silver here, but it didn't work out, so I will change the color later on. But you can paint them. If you don't want them to be black, just put a little bit of acrylic paint on the arms, and that will do the trick. Just wait a little bit before putting them on. So now what I'm going to do is, oops, sorry for the noise. I needed some more of these decorations. I wanted to put a little bit more there. And I've prepared this piece of ribbon, and I wanted to make a bow out of it. And I didn't want to make a very big one. So I showed you this in one of my last videos, but I'm going to show you again how you make a very easy bow, just in case you haven't seen that. So I'm going to take a little piece of ribbon here, really not big, because I don't want this to be too big compared to my CD. So I'm going to cut a piece here. Then I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue. Where am I? Here I am. And because there's metal on each sides of my bow here, my ribbon, it's going to be very easy for me to put it together. It's going to kind of stay in place. So I'm going to put this one aside so the glue can dry, and I'm going to take this one that I already started, and I'm going to use these twisters, you know, the one you use for your bags. As I showed you in my previous video, you can also use some pipe cleaners that will do exactly the same thing. It's just a little bit different and it's easier, so use what you have, don't go and buy anything. So I'm going to use these twisters. I don't know what the real name of this thing is. Kind of put it in the middle here, and on the back I'm going to twist two or three times just to make sure it's going to close very well, and then I'm going to cut the excess off. There I am, and your knot is done. Now what you really need to do is just put it in place, play with it a little bit. This piece I don't like. I'm going to cut it to make it look nicer. Okay, there we are. And once you're happy with it, you can put it either on top or on the bottom of your clock. I think I am probably going to put it on the bottom again, just to change it a little bit. And I'm going to put some glue just here on the top and on this piece too. So it won't be too much in the way this time, woo, of the arms of my clock, of my mechanism. I'm not sure I'm going to really like it this way anyway, but I like it when it's a little bit on it. So I'm going to take it off right now before it ends completely. And I'm just going to turn around my bow because I don't want to see all this glue there. And I'm going to put a little bit more glue here and here and stick it directly on my CD because I really think it's going to look nicer. Yeah. Even if I hide a little bit. Oh, I didn't put it on the right piece. My goodness, I'm doing a big mess. I'm supposed to put it here at 6 o'clock, not 7. There you go. Okay. Now I'm putting it on here, and I will cut a little bit of these pieces because they're definitely too long. And now what I'm going to put is maybe a little present here, or I could put one of these bells. I don't know. I think I go for the bell because otherwise I can't really see the present very well. It looks maybe too reddish. So I'm going to put some glue here really well. Just tug it a little bit underneath. And I'm going to wait a few seconds to make sure it's going to dry and hold on well. I hope it's going to be okay. And I'm going to call this one done. Really simple. You could put much more. I think after all I'm going to put a little bit more here because this garland is a little bit, it's not as fluffy as I would like it to be. But I really think it's nice anyway. It looks really nice, and you've done that in minutes. You could also do some of these for your craft fairs, or maybe offer this for your family. I'm going to make one for my mom for sure, and I really like that. So this one is done, and now I'm going to show you the second one. So I'm just showing it to you again, what it looks like. There it is. So for this one, I have used some false tree garland. Let me show you what it looks like. Okay, this is one of these things that are few yards, maybe 1 or 2 yards long, and they're supposed to be garland, look like, you know, artificial tree for Christmas. So I usually buy some of these because they're quite cheap here, and I cut some pieces out. So I've already cut quite a lot, and you will need something strong for this because here inside you've got metal. So use something like this that is going to really be, you know, something strong enough. This did not work for me at all. Too big. So let me come back, and I am going to take another CD here. I'm going to glue it down. It's going to be quick. I've prepared a lot, but I forgot to do this. Don't forget to go towards the center too. Don't forget any spot. And straight up to the edges. I think I've got double-sided tape everywhere. Okay. And now I'm going to stick this one on. Let me see. Oh, and I've got a little bit of hot glue there. Oh, it's going away. See what I told you? It's not sticking that much. And I think it's good. This one is a little smaller than the other one. It's strange because I printed out at 55% as well, or maybe this is the CD that is a bit wider, which is, I don't know. Maybe it's maybe because I did a mistake somewhere. but that's totally fine because we're not going to pay attention to this anyway. So first what we're going to do here is make our setter. That's really important to do this step first before doing anything else. Again, I'm making a hole in the middle. I'm doing like a cross, an X here, cutting a little bit of these pieces. Again, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, cutting it here, because if I have too much paper I won't be able to screw my mechanism on. But don't do it the whole hole, okay? Don't do that because otherwise it's going to go through, it won't stay in place. So I'm going to take my mechanism and I'm going to use this one. I haven't seen if this one was working or not, so I'll always be able to change it because I'm not gluing it down in case it's not working. So now this is on. I am going to take this piece here and screw it on. Let me see, I need to have my both hands there. There you go. Really screw it tight, remember that, okay? Okay, now this is done here. What I'm going to do is use all these bits here that I already cut out, and we're going to have to put these here, put a lot of hot glue all over, and then start putting all our pieces together. And what I have done is I already kind of given some kind of shape. I bent them a little bit because I think it's a little bit easier to do it down and then glue it down than the opposite way, glue it down and then turning them, because it's going to help me glue them down anyway. So it's going to be like a clockwise. It's going to have a more natural look to it. I just think it's easier. This one is pretty big, so I'm going to cut it down. And this is how I cut it. So this is really a useful tool. If it's too big, don't be scared of cutting it down. I think it's going to be fine. So I'm going to start putting my glue here. And I'm really being generous with this. So, and at this point it's going to be hot, and your CD is really going to be hot, so be careful. So I'm starting to glue my pieces here. Be careful not to burn yourself because it really is hot. It happens so quickly. I'm going to put a bit more here. And I haven't put my glue gun to low temp. If it's on low temp, it's not going to stick to the CD. It really needs to be hot. Okay, and it's important to put your mechanism first, because otherwise if you do it first here you won't be able to put it straight. So I found out that it was much easier to do it this way. Okay, and I'm going to go all the way around it. It's going to be fairly quick, so bear with me. If you don't want to see me all the way through, just pause, go fast forward, but it's going to be quite fairly fast. I can see some of it went a little bit underneath. I hope I cut it enough. Yes, I think it's going to be good. Oh yes, I think so. And you'll see when everything is dry, if you need a little bit more glue, just put some more. So you know what, I think I'm really going to pause this, and I'll be back when everything is totally dry and I can work with my clock. And I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, I'm back. So it's not completely cold yet. It's still a little bit hot. My CD is hot, but I I'm going to continue doing my decorations here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put a little bit of red here. I wanted to do some green, but I think it's too much green on green, and yeah, it would have been gold or red. I'm going to go for red. So I'm going to start. There's no right and wrong here. You start wherever you want, putting some hot glue again, just like we did before. Okay, really try to go just on the edge there, as neat as I can. And usually when I don't speak, it's because I'm concentrated on what I'm doing. And I've got glue again everywhere. It's me. Every time I work on something, I kind of have filthy hands, or glue, or paint, or ink. But hey, I think that's what I like, actually. I can't wear gloves, especially not using hot glue, because if I burn my hand with gloves, it's going to be even worse. The burn's going to be even more terrible and painful because of the plastic over my hands. Okay. There we go. And last one here. Okay. I think it's not it's not really perfect, but it's not too bad. I'm gonna cut it good, okay? Take more time home. Can't really put my eyes here, otherwise you're gonna have my head in the camera. So I'm gonna cut it good here, and I will put the arms here on the clock just later on at the very last minute. So now what I would like to do is give it a little bit of a shine. And you're gonna find this crazy, but where I live, I'm having a really hard time finding some spray glue. Really, I mean, really a hard time. So what I've done here, and it does stay well, is I've used some hair lacquer, okay, hairspray. And here again, hairspray is really hard to find. If I want to find some good hairspray, I need to go to a beauty salon, and it's going to cost me like $25 a hairspray. This is what I found about, I don't know, 6 months ago. And I only bought it for crafting because it's not strong enough for my hair, and I never found that one again. So I hope I will find some more because it's really useful for crafting. So if you can't find any hot glue, not hot glue, but glue spray, if you can't find this kind of thing, whatever the brand is, I know that Aquanet is quite popular in the United States. Use some cheap one, just as long as it's gonna hold what you want to put on it, as long as it's very lightweight. And I'm gonna show you this. If you remember one of my previous videos, I used some false snow, and I'm going to use this again. I'm just looking for it. I don't know where I put it. Oh, it's just under my nose. So I'm still having some more of these, and I'm going to spray this, and I'm going to do it off camera because I don't want to put spray all over my table. And I'm going to spray this pieces by pieces, you know, regions by regions here, and then put a little bit of this false artificial snow on it. So let me shake it a little bit. And very quickly, I'm going to sprinkle some of that. And I know a big part is going to fall off, but that's fine. And before shaking it, I'm just pressing it down to make sure that some of it is still going to stick to my project. And then tap the excess off. Okay? And you can repeat this process as much as you wish. I'm going to do a little bit more here another time. And also I will do a last one just on top of it, so it's going to fix everything. So whatever, how many layers you want to do, there's one coat underneath and one coat on top, just to make sure everything is going to stay in place. And I don't want this to be too white, so I'm just going to spray a last time to fix it, and I'll see later on what it looks like and if I need to put a little bit more. Oh my goodness. Ooh, I've got snow everywhere now. Well, I don't know about you, but me in November, I love to start my Christmas decorations. I'm not maybe putting them right now in place in my house, but I like to start doing these. And I'm not doing it right now, but I like also listening to Christmas music. Please tell me, what do you think? Listening to Christmas music while crafting Christmas things? I mean, you know, if you don't put Christmas music, I think something is lacking. I think I'm going to call this one good to go. You understood the thing, what I wanted to do. Oh my God, I've got, look at that. I've got false snow absolutely everywhere now. Okay, you know, brooms exist for something. Okay, so I think it's upside down. It is. Okay, so now that I have done this, I want to maybe do something a little different that I haven't done in the other one. And I found these two. I didn't have much more, and I'm going to put them here and there. And I'm going to use some hot glue, these little presents, and I'm going to glue them here and there in a random position. I will leave a space just in case I can find another one, because just to, oh, I've got another one. Whoa! I'm gonna put it here. It's maybe a bit too big, but you know what, if I don't like it, I can always take it off, because the hot glue, if I just pull it a little bit, it's going to stay well in place, but I can cut the hot glue underneath. Yeah, I think it's a bit too much, but hey. And now I might use a little bit of these little beads here that I'm going to cut. I need a little bit more color, so I'm going to cut some of these beads here. Let me use this. So some of these reds and some of the greens. Like I said before, I'm really a, I like the traditional colors of Christmas, and also a little bit of gold. You know, green, gold, red, whites, that's the colors I go to. I'm not into pink or blue or purple, but I love when I see things that are different from mine. It's just me that I'm having a hard time imagining I could change the colors. I change my decorations each year, but I really always use the same colors. Tell me what you think. Do you change color every year, or do you stick to what you're used to do? And yeah, tell me what you think. I usually like to change things, so this is why I change my decorations, but it's just the color. I don't want to. So now I'm putting a little bit of hot glue here and there in a random places, and putting, oof, this is too much. And taking away a little bit of this. It's a bit messy. In case you didn't notice, it is a little bit messy, but the result, I think, is going to be just great. So a little bit of hot glue, and then not putting a lot of red here. So you see how it goes quickly? It means you don't need much. This thing didn't cost me a lot, and you know this big false tree wreath, it was not a wreath but garland, it's not expensive, and in one you can make so many decorations. I think it's worth trying to get some, maybe at the dollar store if you live in the United States. You may find some of these that would look just nice, and even if you think they don't look nice, you're going to put so many decorations on it, it's going to be just fine. I need a bit of red here and more red around here. Yeah, so now that this is it, I think I really like it. There's something missing. Bells again, and probably another bow. So I'm going to use this one I started before, and this time I am going to use a little bit of this pipe cleaner. Cut a little piece and just put it on here on the front side and make a nice little twist on the back. Once, twice, and that's good. Then cut the excess off, and this piece off as well. Okay. Oh yes, I will put some Christmas songs maybe next time. I know we're in November, but maybe you will look at this video in December, who knows. Need to cut this little fellow yet there. Okay, and I'm going to put it on top this time just because I want to give it a change. So I'm just going to hold it few seconds there, make sure it's not going to fall off. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. I'm not sure I better sing or not. I don't know how to sing. I'd love to, but I don't know. Okay, disclaimers. People are going to say you're talking about your life. Well, I'm not talking about my life, but you know, we're crafting, and you're starting to come and more often looking at my videos, and I feel like you're almost my friends. Some people, a lot of you, not some, but a lot of you are leaving so many nice comments and things like this. I just can't be, you know, a robot and tell you, do this, cut that, put it this way. I mean, we need to have some fun and share things, and yeah, you're not my followers or subscribers. You are more and more becoming my friends. I've received some very nice mails from you, so I really appreciate. Thank you very much. You are making this channel grow. You're the only one doing that. So again, thank you very much. So I think I'm going to call it good now, and I don't want to put too much. I am just going to put, because that's going to be useful if I want to read the time. Where did it all go? I think I lost all the pieces of my mechanism. Do I have some more here? I should. Yes. Okay, so let me use this one. So this one, the smallest one first. And I might, gosh. Okay, I hope it's good. Then the other one here, yes, it's good. Then the other one on top, and I might, I'm not sure, color these. And I need to put a battery, so I don't have any right now because this one is working, but I have much more batteries and they will be working just fine. So hey, I'm going to show you all the others. Let me do some cleaning here. So this one was the last one I made. This one was the previous one without the little presents here. Tell me which one you like. Do you like this one best? It's very simple. It's upside down. This one, which is very simple, but I do like it very much. Let me put it on some white to show you better. So you've got this one, really simple. You've got these two, and you've got Santa Claus here as well that I really like. So don't forget, I will put under the description below the website where I found these what they call clock faces printables, and I think that you can just download them. You don't even have to download them, but just save them on your computer as long as it's for personal use and you're not selling them. But I wanted to give them credit for this. And please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share as well. It helps my channel be a little bit more known. Thank you very much for being here, and see you soon. Bye bye everyone.